If you're not excited about your day-to-day life and your future plans, then what are you going to do about it? If you've been thinking that 2024 is your year to shine and you've been contemplating more sea, sand, possibly kangaroos, then do not go anywhere, because we are talking about emigrating down under in 2024. So let's talk about the yays and nays. Obviously, you already know about the great beaches, the friendly Aussies, and the possibility of getting a cool Aussie accent, just like mine. Just kidding. And on the other hand, you've got some serious things to worry about, such as how much Vegemite do I need to put on my toast? Because that is not something that you want to get wrong. Anywho, enough about Vegemite for now. Let's head back to the beach and talk about the pros and cons of moving to Australia. So the first plus is obviously the climate. Although it's not hot and sunny everywhere all the time, there's a different climate for everybody here in Australia. I'm sure you'll have all heard, but work opportunities are also great here, as is the pay. Many skilled workers are in high demand, with Australian workers being some of the highest paid in the world. The quality of life here is incredible. It's a very much outdoorsy lifestyle, with work-life balance being a high priority to Aussies. If you're feeling like life is a bit dull, then what better way to spice it up than with a new culture? It's probably one of the most exciting things you can do. We've been really impressed by the Australian healthcare, and what makes it even more amazing is that there's a public system. We've also been really impressed with the education system. Students from all over the world come to study in Australia because it is so good. And also, what better setting to enjoy your education in? If you're looking for adventure, then Australia certainly has it in bucket loads. But then there are the cons to consider too. Moving to somewhere new is going to be unfamiliar, and you're going to have to learn everything from scratch again. Everything that's been your normal is suddenly not going to be normal. And unless you're from New Zealand, then it's unlikely that your family and friends will be anywhere close to you, because Australia is so far from everything. The cost of living here is pretty high, but in saying that, we've obviously got the higher wages, so it does kind of balance out. But Australia is suffering from the same problem as everywhere else in the world, which is a rising cost of living. One massive con to moving to Australia is dealing with the visa situation. So unless you're coming over on a working holiday visa, it's certainly not easy. They make it so difficult, but if you're willing to go through that, then obviously you're very keen. When you no longer have all of your family and friends around you, you then need to start looking at setting up a new network. And that's a bit trickier than it sounds. You need a support network around you, and that will be amazing once you've got it set up. But it takes a little while. When you emigrate, you are having to start all over again. Not only with your work, your friendships, and all of the normal stuff, but also financially. You really take quite a hit when you have to pay for all those visas and a whole emigration, and to start all over again, set up a new home. It doesn't come cheap. It can give you quite an initial financial blow, and that's not to mention all of the insane weather and natural events that occur in Australia. We've never seen anything quite like this before. We've been involved in floods, in bushfires, flash flooding, absolutely insane things that we've never witnessed before in our lives. Aside from those main pros and cons of moving to Australia, we reckon there might be a few other things on your mind. Another thing that a lot of wannabe expats talk about is the Australian wildlife. And while you might welcome the odd kangaroo in your backyard, there are many of you who worry about the snakes and spiders. But luckily, there's many things you can do to protect yourself from these things, and they're rarely an issue. You can live in a more built-up area that doesn't back onto bush. Keep your fly screens closed.
Keep your yard tidy.
And get regular pest sprays done. But whatever you do, do not allow the Australian wildlife to be the thing that puts you off of moving to Australia, because I can guarantee you that you're going to end up in awe of it.
Could you pass us a stubby, please? Cheers, mate.
Hey, how's it going?
She'll be right. Maz, I think I'm going to wear my black thongs today.
It actually doesn't matter if you come from an English-speaking country or a non-English-speaking country, because Australian is going to be a whole new language for you to learn either way. It does take a bit of getting used to, and you are certain to have some misunderstandings along the way. Ben, we're rooting for you. There are two very important foods that you need to get familiar with in Australia. The first one, Vegemite. And the second one is Tim Tams. Many non-Australians think that Vegemite is quite an acquired taste. When you do try out Vegemite, the most important thing you need to remember is that less is definitely more. While Vegemite might be quite controversial to many, Tim Tams definitely are not. They are incredibly popular with everybody. You can get them in heaps of different flavours, and there's a few different ways to eat them. So you can either be really Aussie about it and do a Tim Tam slam, or you can pretend that you're just a regular person eating a regular biscuit. However you do choose to eat your Tim Tam, just know that it is a national treasure. If you are moving to Australia, then we would love to hear from you in the comments, and also be sure to check out our website, the BAMFamalam.com. There's heaps of resources on there to make your move even easier. Whatever you decide to do in 2024, we just hope that it's what makes you happy. See you next week.